interview with you and to learn about some of the amazing ways that you actually serve in this world as a healer and a spiritual life coach, really helping and mentoring people to live life to their fullest. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Mm,
Thank you. So today we're celebrating the game changers, inspirational stories that changed life, and this is volume 7. So I've worked with Iman for almost all the different volumes of this book.
mm,
So it's been truly rewarding. But your chapter was about learning to monetize our gifts. So
mm,
can we talk
mhm.
about this chapter and what was the inspiration for it, and what message you wanted to put
Mm.
out to the world for this?
I would like everyone to know that I truly believe that everyone is born with a special purpose and a mission. And I also believe that everybody has a message that we can share with others in order to light up, people around us. And I also believe that, everyone has a special gift and talent that we all can use to serve, either our family member or our community or to change the world to be a better place. And but because I used to work as a pastor, and of course, I teach a lot about how we can find out more about gift and talent. But then I often find people struggle with the financial part because we can continue to use our gift and talent to help so many people, but without able to make some good money, it's hard for us to continue to create a movement to use our gift and to or to share our message. So later I find out kind of more teaching. I teach people more about how we can find out more about our gift and talent, but not only to serve, but how we can create some business model so we can charge for our service, because I believe that when we can use our gift to serve other, when other people can pay us, then that is the financial reward that
Mhm.
God is going to bless us. And without that financial reward, it will be very difficult for us to move forward. Because in the past, I know so many people who have so many talent and gift to serve, but they still need to work in a job that they don't like or hate in order to make money and to support them to create this kind of impact or influence on other. And I personally don't think it is the best model for us to work in a job we may not like, in order to make money, and but to also to be able to continue to serve our gift. So from my experience, I think it is best when we can use our gift and the talent to serve, but also at the same time, we can use it in a way that we can charge people, when they use our service, so they can show appreciation of our service, and we can also help them to invite them to be part of our mission. So I think it is a win-win situation in that case. That's why I'm very passionate about how to teach people to monetize their gift. And so we don't need to always serve for free. And also when we invite people to pay for us, it is a divine, a purpose for that. So they can become our supporter, they can spread the message, they can impact more people. So that's why I'm so passionate to want to teach people to monetize their gift.
Beautiful, very beautiful. Sam, welcome to the call.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry, I was a little bit late. I was trying to connect all my streams and then it gave me an error, so I couldn't connect anything.
Sometimes it is the way we'll have we have this recorded, so you'll be able to upload
Mhm.
it later then. So, Dr. Jane, Jane needs to leave in a little bit, so we're going to kind of finish up her interview. But Dr. Jane, when you got the opportunity to write for the Game Changers, what
Yes.
inspired you to what was the motivating factor?
You will motivate me to want to write a chapter, right?
Right.
Okay. I'm so happy and excited to be able to work with, also work with other successful business owner to write some inspirational story or message to to change people's life. I always like to transform people's life. That's why I work in the past, as a professor and as a pastor, as a teacher. And I believe that my choice to join the game changer is because I truly believe in Mount Aga's leadership, and I also feel so proud of being in a community of so many people, like Sam, like many others, that who have a great vision and who have a great mission and higher purpose to inspire people. Like for me, I'm very passionate to want to awaken peoples and to help them to understand about their divine calling, their purpose, their higher purpose, and also to better use their gift and talent so they can serve more people while at the same time they can make good money and live their sole purpose. And I believe that that is the purpose of me being here on the planet. And I also believe that I'm called to do that. And that's why, I was called, to serve in the church as a pastor, as a priest for over 25 years. But I kind of feel right now my calling is more on how I can continue to work as a success coach to help people to have a super successful, abundant mindset so they can better use their gift and their talent to serve others, to transform life of many, and also to bring healing. I'm also a healer. I have a special gift. I'm able to see people's past, their trauma, and also to see some of their future vision. So I can help people to receive healing from their past so they can, remove some block to move forward. And I can also help people to move forward to see their target market and in order to create a community they desire to make more money. I'm pretty good at people and money, and I believe that's God's blessing on me. And of course, I would like to share that with everyone. And I think Game Changer is a wonderful, wonderful platform, wonderful place for us to meet people who have similar passion and vision. And then I hope that more people will purchase the book and will become our supporter. That will make me feel so happy and joyful.
That's beautiful. And wow, how you serve. It's so important that we each step up in today's world, and we have the tool sets available to us. We have so many wonderful things that are available to us to get our message out to the world. But it's important to lead it by example. It's also
Mm,
important to actually lead and share those
mm,
tips. And you do a remarkable job of doing that. Thank you.
yes, yes.
Thank you so much
Hmm.
for sharing today. So the one key takeaway through this whole process of how we serve in the world today, somebody picks up a copy of the book and they open right to your chapter. What do you want them to walk away with?
I want them to know that, it is so important to be honest about our life experience and our struggle. If we feel like we cannot move forward, we need to look at what make us got stuck in our past. Maybe we have some trauma or maybe we have some negative life experience that we need to receive healing. Then that's, have the courage to face the situation and to fix our unfinished business and to, to receive more healing from our past trauma so we can create more positive mindset and to have more abundant energy to move forward. I have helped to heal so many people. Every week, I talk to at least 100 people every week, and then to try to inspire them, to give them healing, to give them, to make transformation. I'm able to, almost talk to 600 people per month. That's me. And then, and of course, when I used to work as a pastor, sometimes my healing service, they can be 500, 5,000 people. But I believe that my message is to be able to receive healing because I find out healing is the number one key in order for us to move forward and to better unlock our gift and talent in order for us to serve. Because, I have worked with so many successful business coach, but I find out without able to look at our real struggle and to remove the block, it is very difficult to move forward. Just like if we are driving a car, the car can look very beautiful, but if there is some problem with the engine, then you can try all you can, but you are not going to drive anywhere. You are not going to drive fast. Yeah, and that's why I just feel like, well, a lot of people spend expensive, you know, car, and then they want to make sure that they can live a good life, but they forgot we need to really look at the core of our problem. If we feel like a lot of time we have a lot of vision, we have a lot of strategy, we want to move forward, but why we cannot move forward? Usually we got stopped by some of our past experience, and then we have some trauma, or maybe we have some disbelief and the mindset we need to change. Otherwise, it will be like you can drive a very expensive car and it will look good outside, but you are not going anywhere when you cannot, your car just cannot.
So
And
very.
that's why I'm passionate about that, because I've worked with so many successful person, but I find out sometimes when they try to hide their problem, when they try to pretend they are okay, that's why they got stuck. They cannot move forward. And I also believe in holistic healing, body, mind, and soul. And I also believe in authentic, be authentic to face our real problem, be real to talk about our struggle with other. That's how we can have better family relationship, and we can impact more people in our community and to change the world. And I'm a big believer of EQ, like emotional intelligence. And I believe that when we can focus on change our mindset, and through the healing, and through the the energy work and all that, we are able to have the ability, to move forward.
All
So I see a lot of time, a lot of people forget about that. A lot of people, they have a big vision. They want to make 1 million, $2 million. But if they feel so bad every day, in their emotion, they don't have the energy to move forward. It will be difficult because, I don't believe to rely on drug, alcohol, and all that will help us to move forward. We need to be healed, and so we can receive the holistic healing. When we are holistic healed, then we have the energy, and we have the vision, we have the light to move forward. So I
right.
just want to inspire everyone with that. Yeah.
Thank you for how you serve in the world today. And it is so necessary that we do this. And what a beautiful opportunity that we all have with the tool sets that we have available to really
Mhm.
get our message out to the world. Thank you,
Yeah.
Dr. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for inviting me to be here. And I wish everyone the best.
Well, I hope you go forward with the rest of your day. I know you had something else you needed to do, but thank you for
Hmm.
taking the time, this special
Hmm.
little few moments to be able to have this beautiful conversation.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay.
All
Bye.
right, bye-bye. All right, for you, Mark. I mean, Mark, Sam. I've had a lot of interviews today. My brain's going, names.
Becky, I don't even know how you're still standing with all you've had to do this past week.
It's been a lot. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. And it comes down to those little tiny mistakes that you don't see because there's so many things to do, to move, so many moving parts with a book like this. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. This is my first time being part of an anthology. I've had my own book before, but I've never been part of an anthology. And I just know when it was my own book and it was just I'm one author, how much work it was. So I can't imagine, how much work must go on behind the scenes when you have 18
So,
people contributing their stories.
yes, and I have an actual Friday is my last book launch of the year, and I'll never do it the way I did this year. I've had two in 1 week, and the other one has 40 some authors. Never again. Not in the same week. That's just way too much, but it is what it is. That one is called Golden Wisdom of Love, Legends, and Legacies. So a really interesting book. So, but what a blessed time that we're living in, that we can do something like this. And I would love for you to share with listeners, you know how is it that you serve in our world today, and what made you decide to participate in the Game Changer series?
So I do a few different things in the world, but my primary business at the moment is I focus on my internet radio station, which is talkradio.nyc. And what we are is we're kind of like a hybrid between a podcasting network and a traditional radio station, but we do everything live first, but we do it all online. And then we record it while it's live, and then we put out the recordings afterwards as the podcast. And we stream audio and video. We have our own YouTube channel. And I really have a wonderful group of hosts. We have shows on all different kinds of topics, everything from business and nonprofits to health and wellness, personal and spiritual development, society and culture. And I've been running the network now. I can't believe it. It's like over 12 and a half years.
Wow, how
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. And I've been a serial entrepreneur since 1993. And I've had lots of different businesses and different industries, but this is the longest I've ever focused on any one business.
Yeah, and you get to meet a lot of fascinating, wonderful people too, that brings so much light to the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have lots of authors on my show, as well as all kinds of interesting guests on the other shows on the network. And it's one of the few things that I've done in my life where I'm constantly learning. There's always something new. There's always some aspect of life and some different perspective that someone brings to it. And that's why I'm such a big believer in the industry. I'm such a big believer in media in general, because there's so much to explore now more than ever before. Uh, and now, like, because of the pandemic, we had to go virtual, so we do all of our shows now through Zoom. And I have hosts now who aren't even New York City. I mean, we used to do everything out of our small studio in Midtown, but a small one-room studio, you can't social distance, so we had to go virtual. And now it's like opened me up. I've had hosts on my network from as far away as Sydney, Australia, and London, England, and it's just
That
amazed me, like,
just
what
think of
you can do.
Yeah, just think of that when you realize the scope of the difference that you can make for others, and the messages that are going out far and wide that could have never and would have never been able to go that far. And just the contacts that you're able to make as a result of having this platform.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I never imagined when I took this station over 12 and a half years ago that I'd be heard in over 100 countries around the world. It's kind of mind-boggling. Um,
What's the motivating piece behind that? What is it that goes deep into you at the core of who you are, that brings you to serving in the world in the way you do?
well, it was interesting. I remember many years ago, I had this show on the network that were called the Dudes of Disruption. And there were three guys who were three coaches. One was an executive coach, two were personal life coaches. And I remember they had these rules of being a dude. And so one of the rules of being a dude was know your higher purpose. And I was sitting there listening to them, and it just came to me right away. As soon as they said it, I was like, oh, I know what my higher purpose is. It's to help with the unfolding of consciousness on the planet. It's like I'm here to help people be more aware, more awake, more conscious about all different aspects of their life. And my own show is called the Conscious Consultant Hour, and that's what I talk about every week with different guests. And even my own stuff, it's giving people different perspectives, helping them to understand different things and understand things in a different way.
Mhm.
And so, why am I so passionate about it is because, having the station, it's an opportunity to raise people's awareness on all kinds of different topics. And, we don't do politics, we don't do sports, we don't do divisive stuff on the
Right.
network. We only do things that are educational, inspirational, informative, or empowering,
That is
because that's
beautiful.
And because that's what I feel is so important now, because there's enough media channels out there in the mass media who will play on fear, who will play on all the bad things going on in the world. There's so much more to life. I don't need to play that game. I don't want to play that game. And personally, I think people don't want to listen to that stuff much anymore.
Well, I think, I seldom even turn on my TV as far as to watch news because I just get so sick of the same thing over and over. And there's no challenge to the mind. It's just pumping full of just all this bad stuff that keeps going on. And really, I don't think that there's that many bad people in the world. I think that there are people that are that way, but there's so much goodness out there, and there's so much to learn, and we have this amazing world we live in with all these tools and resources at our fingertips to make a difference and to really have an impact. And wow, what a blessed time we're living.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I had the ability this summer to go with my wife, because we both work virtually, and spend 3 months on the West Coast. We were in like San Diego area for a month. We were in Berkeley in the Bay Area for a month, and we were up in Vancouver for about 3 weeks. And it was such a wonderful experience. First of all, I've never been away from home that long.
Wow.
And second of all, like living in an apartment in New York City is one kind of experience, but living in a house in California is a totally different experience. But I tell you, I met people all over the place. Met up with people I know virtually who I never met before in person. I met strangers, and people are basically okay. I mean, look, are there some jerks out there? Of course there are.
Of course there
But
are.
most people are pretty okay. And
Yeah.
it's just that that's not reflected in the normal media, because that's not what sells advertisement. That's what keeps eyeballs glued. I mean, the media giants know that the more they can activate the fear centers and the amygdala part of our brain, the more we'll stay glued to it. But what I think they're not realizing is that by overstimulating it, people start to become numb, and then they lose interest, and then they stop watching. And I've seen it. Like yourself, I know many, many people now who just don't bother watching the news or regular TV anymore.
Right, right. Yes, and it's, the beautiful part is I feel like all of us have treasured gifts the world's just waiting to experience. And we all have some little nugget of something spectacular that we can share that can make all the difference for somebody else that maybe in a darker place in their life and feeling like they're all alone, or that they just don't know how to overcome. And it's just by storytelling has been with us since the beginning of time, and we don't want to lose that art. And that's why the art of storytelling is so vital through this whole process, and really, really helping, pave the way for the younger folks. Well, even our folks our age, that they also, maybe they're struggling with something, and all it takes is maybe just a few words of a whole new, fresh perspective on life.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you asked me earlier, like, why did I decide to be a part of the Game Changer and book, and why did I do this? And it's really because of Imanagai. I have to admit, I've known the man for a number of years. We're in an organization together that known as the Evolutionary Business Council. I had an opportunity to lead a weekend retreat, and he was one of the speakers, and so I've known him for a while, but I didn't start actually working with him, going through his program until this year. And he did a weekend event about trying to find our message, our core message, and what we're about. And people have asked me for years, like, Sam, how did you get into broadcasting? Did you always wanted to be a radio DJ or something? And I'm like, no, like I never imagined this in a million years. This is something totally outside of what I thought of for myself. But in going through this weekend, he really helped me to kind of look at my past, and I found a way actually to connect things. And I realized that actually what I'm doing today makes complete sense considering what I've been through in the past. And that's really what my little chapter of the book is about. It's about sort of what was it like for me growing up? What were my experiences in life that led me to some not so good? I've made a lot of mistakes in my life.
Haven't we all?
Uh,
Haven't we all? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm just, I like to say I'm just a nice Jewish boy from the Bronx. There's nothing special about me. But it really, when this opportunity came to me purely by serendipity, I mean, literally, I met a guy at a party. That's how I ended up doing what I'm doing today. But I realized that what I was looking for so much in my life, community, support, I found by just sharing my voice,
Hmm.
by just doing things like this and being authentic and being vulnerable and sharing myself with the world. And instead of having to go out and find my tribe found me.
Beautiful. Wow.
And the benefits of that have been immense. I mean, being a public speaker, I'd always wanted to do a TED talk ever since I saw my first TED talk I ever saw was Tony Robbins, of course, doing his TED talk. And I was like, oh man, I would love to be able to do that.
You do that.
After 6 years of having my own show, a friend of mine connected me with an organizer of TEDx Upper West Side. The guy was like, okay, send me your speaker's reel. I'm like, I haven't done any public speaking for a while. I don't have a speaker's reel. And I was like, but I have a whole bunch of interviews I've done that I can send you the videos of. And he said, okay, sure, send that to me. I sent him like 5 of my best interviews. He goes, oh, these were great. You were wonderful. We'd love to have you part of TEDx Upper West Side. And I was like, wow, like I was the only speaker in the event that didn't have a speaker's reel. And if it wasn't for my show, and if it wasn't for kind of practicing my speaking through interviewing people and talking myself on the radio, I never would have had that opportunity, because if I didn't have something to show him, he wouldn't have let me on stage. And then years later, a couple of years ago, when I came out with my book, Everyday Awakening, I of course, I look for supporters. I asked people to kind of share about the book, but I also talked about it on my show, and
Yep.
my fans, my loyal listeners, I love them dearly. Patty and William and Sanaya and everyone else, Lisa, all the people who tune in week after week, they like so supported me and bought the book and shared it with their friends. And I hit #1 in 3 different categories on Amazon. I was flabbergasted. I couldn't believe it. So I really found that, and this is why my chapter is called Let Your Voice Be Heard, because if we just allow ourselves the opportunity to speak our own truth,
Beautiful. Yep.
it may not resonate with everyone, but it'll resonate with the right people.
Those that are meant to hear it will hear it. Yeah.
Right. And those
Yeah.
that you appeal to will come to you.
Right.
But you got to put yourself out there. You got to start somewhere. So just do it. Just start, and you'll be amazed over time what can happen.
Beautiful. Beautiful. What a awesome share. And it's so enriching to be able to, this is I think I've published close to 10 books for Iman. And I went to all his classes. I was all involved in the early stages of all of that. And now life has gotten busy with the things that I do. And for me, publishing, it has been that piece, because I'm able to serve in a really unique way, to bring these kind of books to the world. But what you do and what the voice that you give others, the platform for their voice to be heard, is so vital. And it's one of the things that every conversation I have with the authors that I serve is, you need to get your voice out there. You need to take this book and use it as that basis. Without speaking and without getting your voice out there, it's going to be difficult to get that book to stay out there and be discovered and read. So how you serve and the richness that you bring is very, very vital. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. It's really something. And I've learned that, most people have a story inside of them.
All of us do.
Most of us have several stories inside of us.
A lot of them.
but it's we have this feeling that like, oh, who am I? Like, who wants to hear my story? What's the big deal about how am I different? You like who cares? And the truth is, you don't know who cares until you put it out there.
Right.
But once you put it out there and people are aware of it, the people who need to hear your story will find you.
And it's that
And
relatability, it's that connection, that connecting fiber, it's that giving of hope. It's many, many other factors that come into that by getting your voice out.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, I mean, I just want to encourage like anybody listening to this broadcast, if you think that just maybe you might have some little story, like work with someone like Becky to develop that story and get it out there because you just don't know where it could lead. And it's so funny. I mean, I've had people come onto my network and do their show, and all kinds of amazing things happen to them because of having their show, but that wasn't their intention. That wasn't the reason why they did the show.
Why they did it, yeah.
It was just sort of by consistently showing up and sharing and providing information and content for people, people find you, new opportunities find you, new collaborations can find you, and you never know. Like now, we have an agreement with a radio station in California, KMET in Palm Springs, and so just for the people on my network, we have sort of a special deal, and I'm taking advantage of it, where now my show each week is getting re-aired on their terrestrial radio station to a market of 3.5 million people. And my podcast downloads have gone through the roof ever since I started working with them. I'm up to like, I think 10,000. I just checked before I came on the show. I have over 10,000 downloads in the last 30 days.
Wow, how gratifying.
And I've been working on this for a while, and believe me, it's not easy to get there. Like less than 5% of podcasts get 10,000 downloads.
Right, I know. It's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it a long time, but
It has a lot of consideration for the you that you are.
yeah, thank you. But it's just so that's what I'm saying. Opportunities like that can come your way that you can't imagine. You know, I always say the universe has a much better imagination for my life than I do.
And thank goodness that happens and that you're willing to listen to it as well.
Yeah,
well,
it's sort of one of my superpowers is saying yes to the universe.
Yeah, very good. Well, thank you for a fabulous interview and for taking the time and being involved in this and serving the way you do. It is very touching to know how many of us are out there making a difference in so many ways.
Well,
and
thank you,
I
Becky.
really admire you with your platform that you have, and I will be referring a lot of my authors to you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Becky. And I've been sharing it out on the book out on social media all day long on LinkedIn and Twitter and everywhere. And I already got one person wrote back to me, said, "Oh, I read your chapter in the book. It was really great. Thank you for sharing." I was like,
beautiful.
Already?
Yeah, that does make you feel it just got that pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for how you serve, and I look forward to getting to know you. Meeting you in person maybe someday, but in the meantime, we'll connect because I have a lot of little things I want to talk to you about as far as not only for my authors but for my own platform.
Wonderful. I can't wait, Becky. Thank you so much, and thank you all for tuning in today. Remember, go out, get the book, Game Changers Volume 7. It's awesome. 18 amazing stories. You will be glad you got this book.
Very cool. Thank you.